Well, here it comes.
It's that 4FM road, yeah, we ride real slow. Texas bass hitting while the Carolina flow. From the whistles to the winds, every tale they record. Adam and Jack hold it down on 4th and Ward. Southside swing with the coach and Lord. Real life stories, yeah, they back for more. Turn the beat up loud, let the truth restore. You locked in now with the 4th and Ward.
If only folks knew how much time we just killed trying to do a new intro song. That song is so catchy, though. I love it by Lil Pump, Kanye West, guys. We were talking about it last episode, and we were trying to AI up a new intro in the same breath, but I don't know, it just wasn't working out for us. They weren't capturing it right.
Yeah, it was upsetting, but
Jack,
still
one good thing after last week's episode that we did get an answer on, all right, on YouTube at Legit It's Curry, who is the first person that brought up Division 3. Remember talking about that last week?
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out what the budget was, all right? He said he was able to find the link, all right? So at Legit It's Curry, he's back, all right? And he figured out that the budget for Division 3, any guesses, Jack?
No.
Which
really?
is that was about the range I was thinking. I wasn't thinking it was some $1 million production, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was expecting a little more than that, though.
Maybe a little bit more. I mean, but like I said, I feel like he just called in a bunch of favors to maybe like his old buddies and stuff like that. Oh, we do got some more comments to go through here. At Jack, we had one of our former coaches, Coach Scroggs.
Coach
He
Scroggs.
dropped a comment on Spotify, said, "Enjoyed it, guys. Keep it up." Coach Scroggs from old Palmetto days. He's now at Wren High School. Shout out to Coach Scroggs there.
Actually, I was texting him the other day about this. I talked to him. He said he might have to come on here one day and share some stories from the
man, that'd be a good
days.
time. A little blast from the past. Yeah, it'd be a sick time. We had some pretty big hits on, we did a little stadium tours and stuff in our last episode. We've been doing that a little more frequently lately, hitting up the old TexasBob.com and giving it some ad money. We got a comment from GDS Chaz on TikTok, and GDS Chaz, Jack, is actually the guy who runs Game Day Skins.
Okay. Yeah.
The company that makes the shells for the helmets. You know what I'm talking about? We were talking about that before. I sent you his number, if y'all could maybe work some out, get you guys some red caps or something like that. It'd be pretty
I definitely
sick.
need to get with him about that because,
But he said to check out Honey Grove High School, which is a two-way school up not too far from us, Jack. So I went ahead and pulled it up on Google here. So let's go Honey Grove. So Honey Grove's a two-way school and got about 220 kids in their school, Jack. And yeah, it's a nice stadium they got here. Pretty solid setup. Nice turf field.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the red on turf really pops.
They're orange, though. I think it's just the lighting. Yeah, I think it's like a burnt orange type color.
It's
See
really
a little bit better from this view right here. Yeah, really burnt. Speaking of burnt, which they don't do this in Honey Grove, but Jack, they actually got going on, so Gridiron Spice, we do custom labels for teams, right, as a way to make them money. They signed on, and in like one day of just taking pre-orders, maybe, not even a little more than a full day, they got like 74 pre-orders for a Warrior blend. Take the varsity blend, we get a brand new branding on it, put their logo on it. We sell it to them cheaper than wholesale. That way they're able to raise funds, do what they need to do with it. And they've been knocking it out of the park, man. They, Coach Wiggins, shout out to Coach Wiggins over there for getting us connected. But they're going to have a Honey Grove Warrior edition of the varsity blend from Gridiron Spice Company.
Nice.
Making its way up that way for too long. Yeah, they are selling a ton of jars. So, I mean, yeah, anybody wants to get on board with that, be sure to drop a comment because, they're a great test case for this and just a great example that school's got 220 kids, you know what I mean? But they're in one day moving 75 jars, making a solid chunk of change for their programs and things like that. Yeah, they doing it right up there in Honey Grove.
That's pretty impressive, man. I need to get something in the works for Palmetto too.
Well, we can do a
get
big
blend
red
going
blend.
there. Yeah.
We can do a big red blend.
I need to
We can even
that
get the red
going.
cap on there, get the horseshoe on there. It looks sick. I was going through the comments while I was reading through some of these. We went ahead and added Honeygrove to the Team of the Week wheel, right? Because as I'm reading
Yes.
through
Yeah.
these, we actually got a comment saying put them on the Team of the Week wheel. So we'll get that added, guys. We got a comment here from Wyatt Green 72. This one's a lot of the park, Jack, but Wyatt asked if we're twins.
We are not. No.
No, we're not. We've gotten that plenty of times, but no, we're not. I'm a couple years older than Jack. I don't know, got a little more lettuce in the back. Grown my
Yeah.
hair out a little bit lately, although I did get it touched up. Shout out to my barber, Heads Up Willie, on Instagram, guys. Check him out. He's the man, dude.
Shout out to my
Go
barber
in
too,
there.
me, myself, and I.
Man, my wife's hating it though. She's like, "You're not gonna have that for Jack's wedding, are you?" And I'm like, maybe I should just go ahead and ask. Like, Jack, do I need to
don't-
shave my head?
Come as you are.
All right, I got you.
I'm not. That doesn't bother me at all. No.
All right. Well, I'll keep it growing there because now it's just
Daisy,
at the
it might
point.
bother my fiance a little bit, but you know.
For real?
No, I'm
Oops.
kidding. I don't think she would care either.
Well, it could look worse. All right. So I lost a bet. My wife said that I couldn't make 10 layups in a row. Just cold
Okay.
turkey going out of the court, 10 layups in a row. I made the first 9. All right. And I missed the 10th one. Okay. So I lost the bet. So the consequence of that was on Monday morning, my daughter got the straightening iron out and straightened the mullet back here.
Okay.
And no, it was not okay because I got burnt a couple times. I didn't realize how hot those things get. Like
Yeah.
scalded the back of my neck. And yeah, but it was no, it was not a good look. It was not the look. I'm going for like a Kenny Powers look. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, all times.
Yeah,
Dude,
down-
Eastbound and Down.
Down
If
there
you
in
haven't
Myrtle
seen it,
Beach.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Speaking of Myrtle Beach, you're going down there this weekend, right? Y'all got a coaching convention?
Yeah, so we have the South Carolina Football Coaches Association clinic, the winter clinic in Myrtle Beach this weekend. So we're actually leaving tomorrow after weightlifting after school. And we'll be there
who-
Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday.
Who puts that on? Is it
The Coaches Association, SCFCA.
I got
yeah.
you. Have you ever gone before, or is this like your first time
Yeah,
going down?
this is the third year going.
Okay, so you've been a
Yeah.
time or two. I got you.
Yeah, it's a good time. If anything, I mean, you go into a football clinic, which I love. It's just kind of like talking to people, listening to some people talk. I think they have some people from the college ranks coming to talk about their schemes and different things, and just getting to see people from other schools that you don't get to see that often. It's a good time. Plus, you're down there with your boys, and you know, it's kind of like a little mini guys trip. It's business, but it's a guys trip.
Yeah, no, guys know how to have a good business trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, know how to get down there. Like, we're gonna learn, we're gonna enjoy, fellowship, all that good stuff. Hang out, build camaraderie. That's one of my favorite things about every summer when we go to that big one down in San Antonio or Houston, wherever they're having coaching school that year. It's just sometimes you got new hires on the staff, and it's like the first time you got to like hang out with them before the work really gets rolling. And I don't know, it's one of my favorite parts, just that camaraderie piece. Myrtle Beach would be nice. Are they doing it like at a hotel down there or something?
Yeah, so they actually changed it. It used to be at the Crown Reef, something like that.
I've stayed there before.
Yeah, but now it's at the 4 Points by Sheridan, I think.
Okay. Sounds a little nicer. If the Crown Reef is what I'm remembering, it might
like
be
a little 2-decker parking garage across the street from the Crown Reef
that sounds right.
with
Yeah.
like a convention center on the top of it.
Yeah, now the
something like that.
convention center part is fine. It was the hotel itself that we stayed at where I was like,
Yeah.
Hampton Inn don't sound too bad,
So I've never stayed at the hotel
Okay.
that they have it at. We always get a house or something.
Smart.
Yeah, it's just, why not? And so we got a house this weekend that's actually, I think, like a 5-minute walk to the
That'd be
clinic.
nice.
So can't beat the location.
No, that'll be nice. Yeah, one thing I thought was cool at the DFW clinic was just the complimentary like beverages and things like that. Like you're up there like listening to a clinic and all that, and they've got a keg sitting there. Like, come on, get you a cup, like, sit back down, like sitting there all day listening to chalk talks and things like that. But
So
I
they
think that was
don't,
a nice little touch.
they don't weigh.
Well, I think it's because of it's a different group putting it on.
I got you. Yeah.
That particular clinic. Yeah, like you go to coaching school, like they'll have a they do a social like cocktail hour like after their
Yeah.
big speaker.
Yeah, they do
Um,
that.
which again, it's just they pass out free cigars, which are pretty sweet. They got
Dang.
like THSCA on them. Yeah, I always keep a couple just to like have them as keepsakes and things like that. But it's pretty sick. No, but can't beat a weekend in Myrtle Beach, dude. In
No, you
February.
can't beat it, man. I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's a little cold, but you know, it's all right. It's going to rain, I think, all weekend. We're going to try to get a round of golf in at some point, but I think the weather's going to prevent us from doing that. But nonetheless, I'm excited. I'm excited. It's always a good time. We got a good group going this year, so
I think it was maybe my next to last year that I was at BHP, and it wasn't for a clinic. I think it was for the North-South game because they still do that in Myrtle Beach, right?
yes, yeah, North Myrtle. No, yeah, no Myrtle. I think it's Myrtle.
I remember like you get down there that Sunday, you bring the players that you have who are playing in the game, that following Saturday, you bring them down a week ahead. You get them, nestled, all settled up, go through like what they're going to go through what their practice plan is and what they're doing all week and stuff like that. And then for the coaches, I remember they did a recruiting fair, and it was actually pretty nice because, you got colleges coming through, going through all the tables. We were sitting there with our prospect sheet, that kind of deal. I can't remember who was sponsoring the tickets, but each ticket equaled a beverage, right? And so you go take a ticket, get your beverage. Well, I remember at some point the tickets started getting like passed around like Bitcoin or something, like, hey, I'm not going to use these. Here's 3 tickets, And so anyway, like you said, it's just eventually you're just all just hanging out there in the convention hall once the recruiting expo is kind of done. You're just hanging out, talking it up, and yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the job is just getting to hang out with guys and share similar experiences, kind of like this podcast when we got it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat anytime you can do that. It's like we talked about. I mean, the coach's office after the practice or after a game. I mean, it's kind of
My
a whole
favorite
weekend
part.
of that. So
My
what's
favorite
not to
part.
love?
Other than working with the kids, my favorite part's the coach's
Well,
office.
yeah, but
Speaking of, since we're on the subject of South Carolina, Texas, like we usually get to on here, I had an old video on TikTok, kind of, I don't know what was happening with the algorithm or what, but it kind of started getting a little more push, and I started getting some more comments on it. And this is a video that's like years old, like 3 or 4 years old. And I had someone, Maya on TikTok, comments and said, in terms of coaching, what is the biggest difference between South Carolina football and Texas football for the high school ranks? And I thought that'd be interesting to just kind of talk a little bit about, like, obviously I know you hadn't coached here, but just maybe you're outside looking at observations, just from the conversations we've had and stuff like that. Is there
Yeah.
anything that kind of stands out to you?
coach-wise, probably the biggest thing. Sorry, I'm still like working on this.
I knew I
In
was
the-
going to
in
create
the
a monster on
background.
this.
Probably the biggest difference, from my perspective, is in Texas. Obviously, facilities seem to be top notch, pretty much across the board. I mean, at least for bigger schools, it seems like there's a lot. There's a big financial investment. I'm not saying schools around here don't have that. I'm just saying it's another level in Texas. And then the other thing I've noticed is, and this may change based on where you're at in South Carolina versus there, but is just the way things are structured. Not around athletics, because we're all at school. This ain't, what's his name from Ohio State?
We
We ain't here to play
school.
school. It's not, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the way things are structured, like in y'all's school day, where you have those 2 periods, one at the beginning, one at the end, where athletics can go to their sport or whatever it is. I'll just say it seems like those types of things are more honed in Texas versus here. I know a lot of schools in South Carolina have football classes, basketball classes, that kind of stuff, but it seems like they've had that for a while in Texas and kind of structured their day mutually beneficial for athletics and school. So those are probably the 2 biggest, plus the road trips. I think that's also a big one. Y'all always
Yeah.
have like a random 3-hour road trip, it feels like.
Well, I saw somebody out here to start the season off. I think it's South Lake Carroll, kind of a big name around here. I think they're playing a neutral site game against a powerhouse from Oklahoma. They're playing it at the Cotton Bowl,
Wow.
for their first game of the year. It ain't nothing. And then, there's a team we play, Longview. They drive to Louisiana once a year, probably a 2.5-hour trip for them to go play a powerhouse North Louisiana school called Ruston. And I think there's some connections in the coaching tree and all that. But yeah, there's definitely a road trip a time or two. Whereas I feel like for you guys, probably y'all's furthest road trip consistently year in and year out, it's probably what, an hour, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel ya. Yeah, my answer was kind of the same. So I had actually replied back to Maya years ago whenever I first made that video. And I just said that, obviously this was when I was still kind of new to it, maybe a couple years in, but investment and just structure was the biggest thing for me too. Like, one, every coach has got to be a teacher. And for the most part, you got to be a teacher on that campus that you're coaching. Like, especially at the higher divisions, rarely do you get, a middle school teacher who comes and coaches at the high school or vice versa. Usually they want you on that campus, which makes sense in a total. But I realize in smaller districts, that's not the case, right? You might be
Yeah.
a PE person at an elementary and you're going to coach at the high school. Like, that makes total sense in a small district where faculties aren't that big, right? We got 16 football coaches. If we were at a really small school where you might only have 30 people in the whole faculty, like, you're not going to have half your faculty be football coaches. I get it. But, at the level that we're at, 5A, 6A and all that, like, you're in the building, you see your guys walking around the hallways. If they're acting up, you're getting on them. If they're doing great things, you're seeing that stuff too. You're rubbing elbows with their teachers and you kind of get feedback from that. But every coach is in the building, whereas I know that's not necessarily a mainstay in South Carolina, or at least it
Yeah.
wasn't when I was there. So I would just
It's
say that level of investment and structure for sure.
Yeah, and you're right. We have adjuncts, and I think actually Greenville County just implemented a rule now this year. I think is the first year it's in effect, where if you coach a sport, you have to be at that school. Now, I don't know if that applies to like adjunct coaches or non-perm coaches, whatever you want to call it, but I know if you teach at another school in Greenville County, you have to coach at that school. Like, you can't go from Greenville High, teach there, and then go coach at JL Man or something. Like, you have
Which
to
is
be.
something that happens, right? I mean, one of our former
Yeah.
coaches is at one high school, but he coaches football at another high school that's down the road,
Right.
which, seems kind of wild for people that aren't in it. But again, it's when you're in a system where you can kind of have people that, if they've got a different day job, they can still come coach football and get that stipend if they pass background checks and things like that. But, it's not like you have to be at that site as, a certified teacher or whatever. I don't know. That was kind of an eye-opening thing for me, but I mean, I love it. I mean, the fact that we got all 16 of our coaches in our building, I feel like that helps a ton with just keeping tabs on our guys and, just being invested in them and the student body.
Yeah.
Well, one guy did not agree. He commented like yesterday. I don't even know if I should say his username, but it's all good. They're like, there's no harm, no foul, right? Z Tilico on TikTok says, I've known plenty of high school coaches in Texas. The difference is we have 5 million here. I'm assuming he's talking about South Carolina's population, and there's 31 million in Texas. The investment is the same, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on that comment there, Jack?
So he said that
he thinks the biggest difference is that South Carolina only has 5 million people in the whole state. Texas has 31 million people, but he thinks the investment is the same in South Carolina. As I read it, maybe context, I've misread it, but that's
so. Given the question, what's the primary difference between coaching high school in South Carolina and Texas? And he said the population.
I said that I replied back to Maya and was like, I feel like investment's the biggest difference, right? The things that we just talked about, the investment, the structure and all that. He replied to me saying the biggest difference is the population. He said the biggest difference is that they have 5 million, Texas has 31 million, but he thinks the investment is the same.
So he's thinking like per capita, the same.
Yeah. Like, he's breaking it down. The investment for this state with 5 million people is the same.
Sure,
as this state.
but like that alone means it's not the same. You know what? Like the
Yeah,
difference in population, if that's the reason there's a bigger investment in Texas, then they're not the same.
No,
You know what I
and
mean?
I think he just meant, like, relatively speaking, we invest the same, we just have less people. I didn't mean investment in
disagree.
terms of hours. Like, every coach in America, in the world, works insane hours and tries to
Well,
make
yeah.
sure they're developing kids and all that. Like,
But he
if I
thought
know-
we meant like a time investment.
maybe he misread what I responded. My thought was the investment from local taxpayers
Yeah.
school districts, like, because you are setting aside blocks of your school schedule for every coach to be with their sport. Like, you're taking
Right.
a teacher out of a classroom for a section to go and develop their players within the school day. That's what I was meaning, but maybe he misinterpreted that. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, it's not. I mean, how can you, as somebody from South Carolina who's still in South Carolina, I'm not being a South Carolina homer here. There's a difference. I mean, you go look at, and I'm not bashing on any school in South Carolina,
no,
but the stadium alone, some of what you might consider lower tier stadiums in Texas probably outperform some of the higher end stadiums in South Carolina. Now, there's been some new ones built. I know Burns just built a new one that's probably nice.
Barnborough built a really nice one.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what, 2 or 3 programs. Like, I mean, Buford, Georgia. I mean, that stadium was insane. South Carolina has nothing like that, and there's probably I don't even know how many, at least 10 stadiums in Texas similar to the one in Buford.
Yeah, and I might be a little bit of a homer, but I don't even think that one's that amazing, like, compared to. I mean, we looked at Godley last week, and that's a 4A, borderline 5A school on the outskirts of Fort Worth, right? And they got a double-decker walkway to get from one side of the stadium to the other and all this, that, and the other. But I think the main thing is the root of it all, I think, is how schools are funded. And you have local property taxes here, which are higher. Like, I'll admit that. I own my house, and I have to pay a decent chunk to the school district from my property taxes, whereas I know it works a little bit different in South Carolina. And so obviously there's a pot of money that, especially if you're in a booming area like around Dallas or, wherever, Houston, you name it. Obviously when you get a big surge in population, that's more property tax, that's more money, and then they can parse that out. But, if people have to vote on the bonds, right, the school district has to come out and say, look, we're going to set aside X amount because we're going to do brand new baseball, softball fields. We're going to build a new indoor. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And the people still have to vote on it. And the people vote to build those things because, there's an investment in it, right? There's an emphasis on it. But I don't know. Hopefully, if Z Tilico's listening, that makes a little more sense. I mean, no harm, no foul, but I don't know if
I'm
he's
not. I'm just
misinterpreting.
respectfully disagree if that's his point. Now, if he's if he thought we were talking about time investment, then that's just a miscommunication.
Yeah.
But
We all invest a ton of time, man. I ain't going to ever doubt, no matter where you're at, how much time you're putting in for your kids.
yeah.
Man, speaking of Texas high schools and all that, and just getting on, I got a bunch of Twitter tabs open up here that I wanted to get your feedback on. So the school in Texas, all right, public school, put on their Twitter page, check this tweet out. This is Houston Memorial High School football on Twitter. So they put this graphic up, right? It says, leaving private school for MHS isn't a step, it's a statement. Top academics, UIL 6A, which is the biggest division in Texas, no shortcuts. Proven leadership, championship standard. If you want comfort, stay. If you want growth and exposure and run with the best, join the Mustang family. So, elephant in the room, whoever's running the account here is basically saying, and they've got an example of a player who I guess was at a local private school and then came to the public school, and he turns out to have a crazy year, says he has 100-something carries, 1,000-something yards, 20-something touchdowns. But this is obviously like some kind of recruiting promo, right, Jack?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to deny that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any, denying that you're basically trying to, which is kind of like the flip of how I feel like things have been going lately. I feel like a lot of people have been leaving public schools to go private, to go charter, to go, this, that, and the other, especially since they passed the voucher stuff here recently, where now you can take your dollar amount that the state would issue to a school district for you to attend it, but I can take it and go put that towards my tuition at a private school, or I could take it to a charter school. Now they're going to get that money, right? And so I feel like it's like things getting flipped. So it's like, hey, you can stay at private school. You can keep doing what you're doing, probably doing all right, all that good stuff. Or you can come to this school. We're 6A, we're big school. This guy had success. Come be the next guy. I thought it was kind of interesting. I wanted to hear what your thoughts were on a public school, kind of just put a flyer out there for private school football players in the area to maybe come on over and play some public school ball. What's your thoughts on that?
You know my honest thoughts?
That's what we're here for.
I don't have much pity for a private school that would be complaining about that, because now it's just, the script's been reversed. I mean, honestly, I think that's kind of how private schools have been operating. They're kind of pick and plucking from public. And at least in our state, where they've kind of opened the door up a little bit as far as transfers and stuff. I mean, hate the game, not the player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's when the shoe's on the other foot, it kind of goes a little different, right? I mean, if some juggernaut charter school in South Carolina, right, were to put something similar out, how would people kind of feel about what that school's doing? Like they're recruiting basically, right?
Yeah.
So, or if it's a private school putting out whatever, they're recruiting is basically how that would come across.
100%.
And there'd be so much people in defense of they're allowed to do that, blah, 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 or they'd be mad about them plucking from the public schools and all that. But now that the shoe's on the other foot, I'm interested to hear what the private school and charter school blowback would be.
Yeah. And if you go to a private school or you work I'm not bashing on private schools.
Nah, everybody's going to make their own educational decision.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of the one defense that schools that have people that come after them saying they're recruiting, yada, yada, yada. That's kind of the argument they have, is that, the kids coming here to better their education, right? Because these charter schools, some of them can offer, you graduate with a diploma and an associate's degree, which, objectively, that's pretty good to graduate. Normally you just get the diploma, but now you're graduating with an associate's already. Shortens your college time, less student loans you might have to take, less financial aid, yada, yada, yada. Objectively, that's not a bad thing, but, that's kind of their main argument when people say they're recruiting. Like, no, he's coming for education, but like, come on. In some of these cases, we know why they're going there. You can hide behind that cape or that curtain, whatever you want to call it, but we know. In some cases, that might be true.
Yeah, and if you're going for a school or whatever, I don't think anybody in America is going to fault you for trying to go have a great academic education, all that good stuff. Like all that's fine and dandy. We're looking at it from the tunnel vision of, high school sports, right? And especially in a state like where you're at, where there is a lot of mixing, where you got charter schools that are able to compete against traditional publics for state championships, or, y'all are in the same region as some private schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or y'all were before this last realignment.
Yeah.
And so when you're able to kind of like just have everybody play still in the same league, but they get to operate or formulate their teams using different methods, I think that's the scope that we're looking at this in.
Yeah.
It definitely changed the game when you're looking at it from that perspective. But if you are just going to go for sports, just own it. Like, just
own it, man.
Just own it. Just quit bushing around.
Yeah.
Bull crapping around. I didn't cuss there, guys. I caught myself.
And like I'll tell you my opinion straight up. I'm not a fan of charter schools. Private schools, I can understand a little bit. If you have a religious reason you want to go to a religious private school, that's okay. I think there should be their own league, which there used to be. There still is. They just, whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of charter schools. I'll say that. I don't care. But again, that's just my perspective.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of
Opinions
things.
are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, right?
Yep. And a lot of them stink.
Speaking of opinions, all right, now we get to the fun part, okay? The rest of these Twitter tabs I got are pretty humorous, or at least cool to look at. My former school I was at, I guess they're in the basketball playoffs. And so I see this tweet out of nowhere yesterday or day before. I can't remember. I guess whenever they had their game. But it said that the tip-off for their playoff game, for their 3A Upper State girls basketball playoff game, is delayed until after 7. The visiting team, which would be the place I used to work at, according to whoever they were playing, first headed to a completely different school. All right. So they were going to play Chapman, was the name of the school they were playing. But instead, their bus headed to Chapin, which is a separate town in South Carolina. And so I guess they realized the error of their ways and had to circle around and take a detour back up to where the game was actually being played, and it got things delayed. But I was reading that.
Yeah.
I had a good laugh about it. I didn't see how the game ended, so hopefully they pulled out the win no matter what. But I just saw that, and I'm like, man, as a school bus driver, like, has that anything like that ever remotely happened to you, Jack? Like, have y'all ever
No,
almost
man.
gone to the wrong spot?
No, man, not a shot. Maybe taking the wrong route because of traffic, like
Yeah.
avoided 85 or something instead of the back way, something like that maybe, but nothing like that. And then I saw somebody responded and said something along the lines of, yeah, I'm sure that came from a Chapman person just joking about it. Like, there's no way this actually happened or something. And the guy responds, it was just like, not the case. Just hit him back. Not the case, man. This happened.
I can remember like nothing remotely like that where we're going to a completely different town and it's going to throw
Yeah.
off things. We've played at, because some schools out here, for example, if we send everybody out, if we send all 4 of our sub-varsity teams, let's say it's in Tyler, which is like an hour and a half drive. And the head coaches work out a deal where, hey, this first year, we'll send you all of our sub-varsities. The next year, all of y'all's come to us. And, that way coaches aren't having to travel both nights, things like that. We've done things like that. And so when you do that, you've got to make sure you have, 2 fields available. And so most schools around here have like an auxiliary field or maybe a middle school down the street that's got a nice setup and could host the game. And so we've had that happen before where the freshman team's supposed to be playing at the middle school down the road, but they went to the high school thinking their game was there, but that's where the JV game was. And so now they're on a bus. Thankfully, it's only 5 minutes away, but nothing where they're going completely out of the way. It's supposed to be going north, but going east. So I don't know. I got a big kick out of that one, but I didn't see how the game turned out. Hopefully they got the win. But another one here.
I don't think they did, but I don't know for sure.
Dadgummit. That makes me feel kind of bad now.
0 for 2 on the night.
Moving on to, I saw this picture, Jack. So this is D2 College Football Spotlight, and they're on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days. Check this out, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the Superior Dome at Northern Michigan, which rises 143 feet over Marquette, the largest wooden dome in the world. 781 Douglas fir beams stretch across 536 feet, holding up a roof unlike anything else in college football. Seeing a game here is officially on our bucket list. This is from D2 College Football Spotlight. This is a Division II school playing in a dome up there in Northern Michigan.
I mean, the wood is pretty sick.
And you can kind of see, like, you can kind of click through here. Like, you could see the wood logs, like, in the ceiling. Like, that's pretty sick looking.
Yeah,
like, here's a little picture of the outside right here.
Whoa.
Yeah, like, that's cool, dude. That looks like something the Native Americans would have built. Like, it looks like a teepee or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how do you even build that?
I don't know, dude. I wonder how old it is. That is pretty neat. Yeah, shout out to D2 College Football Spotlight on Twitter for finding this. Would this not be a sick place to? But check these out. These little like booth things that they've got. Does that seem stable to you? These little like random booths that are kind of, are those like film decks or are those like where the broadcast guys go?
That's what it looks like, but is that just on a pole? Just one pole?
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's a pole coming up with a single wide on top of it.
And it's got straps to the ceiling too. So
okay, I see that now.
But still,
but then you gotta like walk the plank to get to the next one.
That's dicey, man.
I mean, there's handrails, but that's a little sketchy.
Dicey.
Yeah, especially not knowing anything wooden. I don't know about you, but like wood over time kind of loses a little bit of its stability, right?
I would hear like one creak and I'd be like, I'm out. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah. A pretty sick setup up there at Northern Michigan. 143 feet over Marquette, the largest wooden dome in the world. And it's made out of wood. That's insane. But yeah, I saw that. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. All right, here's another one for you, Jack. Here's a uniform guy on the show. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but LSU's got some news relating to their uniforms across all sports. They've got sponsorship patches on the jersey now. So they put this out on their X page. LSU football, collabing with Woodside Energy, which I don't know anything about Woodside Energy, but obviously they must have a good chunk of change because I think they've got these patches on every athletics uniform where it just says Woodside Energy. And then it's right there to if you're looking at it, the left of the SEC logo on the chest plate there. Jack, what's your thoughts on sponsor patches on college athletic uniforms?
I mean, get your money, boo. At this point, I mean, I guess they probably don't have a choice. They're just trying to keep up with NIL payouts. So I don't love it, but I mean, at least that one's tasteful. It matches, the colors match. It's not like a giant golden McDonald's, which I guess gold would match LSU, but it is what it is. I don't like it.
I don't think anybody likes it, but obviously people have got to get money how they can get it these days. But I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do it, your company's logo needs to be, I don't know, where it's not just a ton of words on the patch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like make it some kind of graphic or something.
Yeah.
Because just the words.
Some kind of seal or something that's not a lot of text, like across the. I mean, it reminds me of NASCAR, right? And so you saw some of those drivers where, they're just covered head to toe, right, in sponsorships. But at least if it's like a McDonald's M, it's just going to be the little M right there. Kind of just blends right in. Maybe they could change the color tone up to beat the school's color or something like that. But to have too much wording right there, yeah, not a fan of it. I think it could have been
Not a
better.
fan. Not a fan.
Here's what I am a fan of. Have you been watching any of these Winter Olympics?
I'm watching it right now.
Did you see this get up? Specifically the helmet they're wearing right here.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Is that Venom?
Yeah, that's a Venom helmet on the men's skeleton competition. And that is sick. Like, this is grade A.
I mean, that's got to be like hand airbrushed, like expensive, but it looks great.
Kind of looks like when Army and Navy get those special helmets.
Yeah.
For the Army Navy game, they're like all hand painted. They're all, something really cool. That's kind of the vibe I get here, obviously in a Winter Olympics setting, but
no,
yeah, hats off to them.
I definitely like it. I definitely like that. Put a McDonald's logo on it since we're talking, might as well. Everybody else is.
Get your money, boo. Yeah, I don't know how long this would have taken, but it was well worth it. Like, I'm sure the artist, whoever did it's probably going to get to up their price a little bit because more folks are going to be wanting something similar. I think it's because of the pose of how they have to be in when they're doing the sport. And so the helmet is a lot more prominent like that, where they're like pointing the mouth out. I don't know. This hits on so many levels. This is good stuff right here.
Sorry, I'm still over here trying to make this happen.
Nah, you're good, dude. All right, let's see. Last one for the night probably is the new coaching staff for the Tennessee Titans. Have you seen this picture? This one might hit close to home. This is why I saved this one for last. Jack, do you notice anything about all the new coaches that got hired by the Tennessee Titans? I'm going to pull it up right here. So this is from BetMGM on X, all right? It says the Titans have formed the baldest coaching staff of all time. And yeah, they did.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the bald and beard combo. Like, it just goes hard right here.
And except for the guy at the very end, he just looks sad, like Eeyore. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Well, he's got to grow the beard out. That's the problem. Like,
yeah.
To me, if I ever go bald, which that my day's coming, like, it's part of the reason I grew up the mullet is like, I was like, I'm gonna grow it out one time before I lose it all.
And the second to last guy on the bottom in the middle, I don't know if you can classify that as bald. That looks just like a super high and tight. I think I see a little hair on the top.
I see what you're talking about. You got a little fuzz up there.
Fades down.
So does that offend you as a, because you go to the skin, right, when you shave your head?
Yeah.
Does that offend you in any way? Or do you, maybe it's unintentional.
I mean, maybe he just hasn't shaved it in a few days. Like, I get it.
We've all been there.
I constantly get, your head's looking extra shiny today. And so I constantly in the halls and, whatever, it doesn't really bother me. But I finally just started responding like, yeah, I polished it this morning just for you, man. Just for you. Got the buffer out and just for you, man. Just for you. They usually.
But they do make like head polish, don't they? or is it just like some kind of lotion or something?
I mean, I don't polish it. I just like clean it.
And it just
I
looks
guess
that
it's
shiny?
exfoliating stuff. So yeah. Like Dove
Interesting.
Men exfoliating scrub on my head after I shave it.
Hopefully you got it perfected, which I'm sure you do by now, by the time I lose mine, so that you can pass along all your knowledge to me.
Oh yeah, the Manscaped Dome Shaver. That's the way to go.
That's it?
That's the way to go. It's so easy. Collects the hair. It's all in this little palm thing. You just do this. It's gone. It's the best. Then you got to kind of fade this is the hard part. You got to like fade your beard into it.
You do that
Which is
yourself?
Yeah, which is a whole other thing. It's not bad.
All right.
It's not bad.
We'll
Save a ton of money on haircuts.
Yeah. See, the problem is, circling back to my guy Willie, my barber. I just like going to the barbershop. Like, they got TVs up going, because we were Great Clips people growing up, right? Usually because they were the cheapest. But now Great Clips is ridiculous. So it's like, I'd rather
Might
go
as
give
well.
my money. I'd rather go give my money to somebody I actually like going and hanging out with and get my hair cut.
Did you
and going to-
ever go to Sport Clips?
I think I did it before I got married. I think that's the only time I ever went because I was spoiling myself.
Yeah, I loved it. I went like 4 times. I was like, the first time I went, I was like, this is my new haircutting place. Like, I'm done with Great Clips. It's only like $8 more. They give you a hot towel. They wash the hair out for you, like get the loose hair off.
Wow.
TV's going on Sports Center. This is my jam. Then I went like 3 more times, and then I was like, I'm just gonna cut all of it off. But Sport Clips was pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty good. You remember the old barbershop we used to go to with in Williamston?
Turner's Barbershop. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, they had that the can vending machine that had Yoo-Hoo. You could get a canned Yoo-Hoo for like 50 cents.
Those canned Yoo-Hoos they're so much colder.
I'm buying some Yoo-Hoo for this clinic trip. That just sounds delicious right now. God, that sounds good.
Can't beat the chocolate drink.
And I don't know his name, and I'm not bashing on the guy. I'm pretty sure he's passed away. Rest in peace. He was a great barber. But that man.
Oh, he had the shakes.
He had a little shake with that.
Nah, he was a good dude, but I remember like in 5th or 6th grade, Randy Johnson was still pitching, right? And he had the mullet at the time. And so I remember we were like the Diamondbacks in Little League that spring.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want a haircut like Randy. So that was the first time I attempted the mullet. And I remember we'd go to the barbershop, like you said, like he got the shakes on you a little bit.
Well, then,
you know what? Just high and tight. Just give me a high and tight. Let's get out of here.
He would like, they got to like grab your head to like get it, whatever. And it would be like, as he's doing it, it came out fine. So he
did a good job.
He had the rhythm down, I guess, but definitely wouldn't want to get like a straight razor done with that guy. Rest in peace. Yeah. I think he's passed on, but great barber. God, I forgot about that.
Good people are hard to find. Good people are hard to find, but I know where we can find some good people. And that's the Team of the Week wheel, Jack, because we're about that time in the show. So let's get the Team of the Week wheel pulled up. Guys, as always, drop those comments with your suggestions to teams to add to our Team of the Week wheel. We spin every episode. It's at random, but it's just a way for us to go and learn a little bit more about hopefully places that we've never heard of before. We're not out here trying to see the IMGs or anything like that. Everybody knows about those. We want to see, we've had schools from Maine. We've had Colorado. Oh, my gosh, Jack, that reminds me. Do you remember the school from Colorado? Gosh, I'm trying to remember the name. But they had the hill built into the side of their stadium. Like, it looked like a newer stadium, but they had a hill built into one of the corners. And we thought that that's where the team might like run onto the field or like at least have seating for people to watch the game from the grass hill. Do you remember that? There's a couple.
Was it
3
Colorado?
or 4. It was in Colorado, I'm pretty sure. I think they were the Pirates, if I'm not mistaken.
Inglewood High School Piracy in Colorado. Episode
that sounds
43.
right. Yeah, episode 43. Yeah. So we were looking at Pirate Stadium for them, and we asked the question like, what does that hill get used for? Like, it's got to get used for something, right? We got an answer. Okay. At Yandel on TikTok, right? Unfortunately, Jack, he says that hill is not used for much.
You're welcome.
Opportunity.
Just gave you the idea.
Yeah. I gave y'all $1 million idea.
Slap up
make
our
that
logo on it and call it a day.
Yes. Make that the student section. Make it like their entrance to the field. Because like it looks like there's that little walkway.
It
Anyway,
looks perfect
guys,
for it.
that's why we're doing Team of the Week. We want to go find these random spots. So drop your comments. Your odds get worse every week because we're adding teams nonstop. It is always brought to you by the Gridiron Spice Company. Use that code 4th and Ward. That's the number 4, THANDWARD at checkout at gridironspicecode.com, and you'll get 10% off your order of seasonings. All right, we got the Team of the Week wheel up here. Jack, you ready to spin it?
Let's do it. Who we got? Ooh.
And we're going to Ohio. Have we?
This might be the first Ohio.
I was about to say, have we had a school from Ohio yet? Medina High School in Ohio, our Team of the Week for episode 4.
Battling Bees.
That's sick. Not just the bees, the battling bees. All right, so we got Medina High School here. They went 4-8 on the year. You know what? Not going to judge. All right. They're still winning the mascot contest.
They were battling, you know?
Yeah, started off the year with a win against, man, some of these names. It always cracks me up. Like, go to different parts of the country and just some of the names you see. We talked about Massachusetts before on here, right? And just some of the names up there.
Chipsacakawan and like Worcester. And of course, to me, it seems normal now because I'm so used to, we go up there twice a year, but I still see names. Like, we went to a concert in Massachusetts. Lake, God, what was it called? 1 second, dead air. It was, I know I tagged it on here. I've just posted so much, it's going to be hard to find. There it is. All right. You following me?
All right.
I'm going to try to say this as best I can. And maybe I've just fallen into this joke and I don't know that it's a joke. All right. It's so long that you can't even read it on one page. Lake Chargagagamanchow Gagagagagachawbanaga Gamgog.
That's all one word?
That's the word.
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Can you see that?
No, I can't.
Did you see the text, though? How long that white line is?
Oh, dear Lord. I thought that was a road on the map.
No, that's the word. Lake Chaka Big Bomb. I don't know what it is, but we went to a concert.
Onomatopoeia?
Something like that. It's a lot of G's. Great concert, but yeah. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the actual name, sorry. Chawbanagungamog.
Well, that's better. That rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that settles it. I mean, that fixes everything. Sorry,
Well,
sidetrack.
I'm not going to say anything about these Ohio schools then, because we had, what was that first school up there?
Stowe Monroe.
Stowe
Monroe.
Stowe.
Stowe Monroe.
They got the dub
better.
over them to open the season, but that name is
Wadsworth?
mild. Wadsworth, Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights,
Euclid.
Lorraine, Strongsville, McKinley. These are all tame compared to some of those Massachusetts names, but
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, 4-8 on the year. Now 4-8 would mean 12 games. So were some of those playoff games?
It's like 2 of them. Won the first round,
Okay.
and then went to McKinley and lost. It looks like that's the playoffs, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, that means they were 4-6, but they won the right combination. They got into the playoffs. I don't know how the Ohio playoffs work. So, yeah, I don't know how many games you necessarily have to win, but I'm interested to see what these uniforms in the stadium look like.
I'm just curious. Let's see where we're at first. Where in Ohio? It looks like we're near the Great Lake.
Right there.
Near Lake Erie.
Right outside of Cleveland, it looks like. Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right.
So do they play at Kenneth Duke Stadium?
Dealt with a bond issue. Rabbit hole did we go down?
I was about to say.
Good old Google Images.
Now hold on. Now this looks
Okay.
solid crowd. I wonder what size school this is.
Looks like
Oh, and they've got a set of bleachers in each end zone as well.
That looks like students here.
That looks
And
like
then
students.
Band on the other side, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps.
That's pretty cool.
Or is that band in that end zone the bigger one on this end? Because I think I see some.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
I just see a
No,
lot of folks
students up in
standing.
the
Yeah,
front.
that's definitely students. It looks like there's some kind of baby powder going up in the air too. Looks like they get after these Medina Bumblebee
Okay.
games.
Okay.
That's a packed house though. Look at all the people standing around on the outskirts too, dude. That place is packed.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. Oh, okay. So yeah, here's the band. I didn't see the band on the field. That's either might be the away band. Is this pregame, halftime?
I don't know.
See
It
the
looks like
team right
they're.
here.
Yeah, this got to be pregame then, maybe, or maybe it's a halftime performance, perhaps. I don't know, but that's a nice
Check
crowd they
out.
got. I wonder how big of a school this is that we're looking
I
at.
think it was 6A, Greater Cleveland.
I don't know how Ohio does their divisions either. That would be something to
All
look
right, so
into.
we are
this
in
class.
Ohio Division 1.
All right, the Greater Cleveland Conference. So I would assume that's like what I would call a district, what you would call a region, is that conference right there.
All right, here's our breakdown. Wow.
So they're
Huh.
one of the smallers.
No, they're one of the biggest. It's just their biggest is the number is 590.
I got this. I'm used to seeing. All right,
Huh.
so Division I in Ohio is enrollments of 592 or more, and that's the biggest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe they just have. Yeah.
There's got to be. That's got to be a wide range. Like, what's the biggest high school in Ohio?
So Medina has 19.
So, like, they might go play a school that has 593.
Yeah,
That
I'm
don't
not sure
seem
how
fair.
that works.
Somebody from Ohio needs to chime in the comments and enlighten us a little bit, educate us on.
I mean,
Maybe
the
we can find us a
biggest
guest coach.
the biggest
from
has
Ohio.
3,500 students.
Yeah, like I
So
was about to say, there's no way that. Maybe it just means they have a lot of smaller schools, and so that's just how. Because 592 or more, but there's 72 schools in that classification. But then, for all the ones smaller than that, there's about 105 in each. So maybe it was their only way to make a viable division. Like the cutoff just had to be somewhere, and it was at that 592 number. I don't know. That's wild. The Ohio High School Athletic Association. I'd be interested to hear what the rationale is behind all that.
yeah, I don't know.
I
mean,
do
they
think
have-
it's cool that the conferences have names.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
I like that instead of just because
They
the
have
numbers
77 conferences over how many divisions were there?
6,
77 over 6 divisions. That doesn't seem
11.
that insane. Yeah, I don't know. That
Anyway, let's check out some of these Bumblebee uniforms while we're on the topic
okay,
here.
boom, right there.
That's a clean
honeycomb.
look.
I
The
like the
honeycomb
honeycomb.
helmet stripe, top tier.
They're leaving a little to be desired right here. I mean, they could
Yeah,
have
put bees.
bees.
Just give me
bees in the
bees right
trap.
there. Bees across the chest right there. But the honeycomb stripe on the helmet is one of the better stripes. It's kind of like we were looking at Seagaville not too far from me, and they had the dragon scale. Their mascot was the
Yeah,
dragons. They had the
yeah.
scales as their stripes. I thought that was a nice touch. Like the honeycomb, well done. Well done, Medina. That's good stuff. Yeah. We're gonna have to go
Let's
down this
see.
rabbit hole when we get off the air, Jack.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find like a home uniform, or maybe they're. All right, so okay, flipped, same but green. I don't love the font.
The lack of something on top of the numbers.
It's really, I mean, they paid for the custom neck emblem. Like, just throw the embroidery on there, man. That's it. It's perfect.
That's
other than
all.
that.
Yeah. Other than that, it's perfect. I don't care for the modern looking numbers, but to each their own. It ain't the worst
Yeah.
I've seen.
Ooh, they also have a little alternate action with the yellow or the
Yellow
gold.
paints. Yeah, the honeycomb
pretty
stripe. I
solid.
can't stop looking at that. Bravo, guys. Whoever's in
Yeah.
charge of uniforms at Medina High School football. That's off to you. You did a good job.
Just
Our team of the week.
Call an embroidery shop and get that name thrown on there.
Yeah, get bees. Just put, that's all we're asking. Put
Just
bees on the
bees.
chest right there.
Bees in the trap.
It'll be perfect. Episode 47, team of the week, the Medina Fighting Bumblebees from up there in Ohio.
The
Shout out to
battling
you
bees.
guys. The Battling Bees. My bad. What did I say?
Battling bees.
The Fighting Bees?
Fighting bees or
Yeah.
something?
I forgot. Alliteration. Battling Bees. Even better. But we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Jack, have a safe trip down to Myrtle Beach, and I'm going to go try not to get sunburned at a track meet tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
Stay golden.
You locked in now with the fourth and wall. Fourth and wall. Adam, Jay, Texas, Carolina, we out.